Sorry I hadn't made a video in a minute, but I wouldn't call it struggling. You know, I've said this before, but it's I've got to get going in a minute, and I'll do another video later. But I just want to give you something to think about before I go. I've got to go play golf with my dad. That's our only relationship. That's pretty bad, isn't it? This is fucked up, man. This world, God almighty. And see, the thing is we have all these distractions. You know, and a few years ago, he'd always ask me, he's retired. He worked for the corporations. So he's going to get in what he didn't get. And anyways, he would always invite me out there to play in these little games with him. You know, and I was shooting 20 over, 15 over, and then I started practicing. And last year I got real good. And truthfully, you know, when you tie in my fitness, the history I have, it's easy for me to get into the swing of things. But I've been working on the swing, and I could care less about it. But in this world, we have to do things, okay? Because remember, the ones they've made stories like the Unabombers and shit like that, you know, saying they're conspiracy theorists and all this, and that's the conditioning, the black magic to implant it in the people's brains. And they'll say, well, they're not very social, and it's like, yeah, but the black magic magicians created that society, so I'm not going to be part of it. So, anyways, I've got to go do that. But that's what I meant to do. Look, I want you to do some homework. I know you might not like podcasts, and I don't either, but this one video is not long at all. All right, let me get it. It's this one right here.
That one.
You'll have to look at it in reverse. That one right there. You can get it. Now, I want you to go watch that video. Now, that's the individuals that... This is my whole point. Do you see this? Do you see those layers? This right here is 20 or 30 feet of a wall that they turned their little weapons. Do you see the burntness right there? You see all that? Yeah, see how it's burnt? You see that? That was dripping. That's dripping. And this is my whole point. Okay. One of the jobs that I had, a career, sort of, one of the new guys that came in is these new little Ahriman beings, these intellectualism just means memorization. You'll see it in that video. And you can see it in any one. Once you are saying, look, this is what it is. Anytime the guy is, everybody's wrong. Trust me, when you create groups, Ahrimanic groups, then you create both sides to sound like, oh, well, it's, you know, could be right that way. Well, that's how it is. It's the game of Saturn, back and forth. But the responses that lady has, when she doesn't have a response, she doesn't have an answer in her brain, that she's all she's doing is channeling in that conversation what she grabbed from the university. So the guy that worked with us that came on, he's an engineer and an astrophysicist. And I said, oh, hell yeah, baby. And I fucked with him so much. But I learned about this Ahrimanic nature, because I'd hand this to him and go, explain this. And he would look at it, set it down, and walk off. And then that's it. And I said, where are you going? Can you not look at this and tell me? You can obviously see that's melted. But he can't admit it. And then they make this shit up. Well, that's volcano ash and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to work, buddy. You can blatantly see the lines in it right here, the burntness right here. Do you see that? And see, when they don't have a response. So it's proof that all they are in their brain is they go to these fucking structures, they get 20,000 hours of Disney by the time they're 20 and fucking dumbass games. We were there too. Max Payne, buddy, was my shit. And whatever that Taxi Driver game was a long time ago. And then when I was really selling a long time ago, me and my boy Fred, that we literally did nothing for a year. We just sat there and he worked at UPS. He's about to retire, but we played Tiger Woods. Fucking foul. And see, that's the mind. We're just sitting there doing nothing. We're not learning or anything. And so that child, whatever game it is, graduates from the school, goes to the university. And they've already been programmed to, this has been just channeling, uploading. So whatever's in here is in here. So this represents a university. So when they go debate somebody, it's the university coming through them and then speaking. They don't have any experience at anything, not one thing at all. And they'll tell you, well, it's tested in a lab. It's like, tested in a lab. Remember, I've told y'all to read this world backwards. What's lab backwards? Ball. Yeah. And truthfully, the brain is the laboratory. Because the fluids that we eat and drink goes up, and then it's going to dictate certain things. This is my whole point. We're dealing with unseen spirits, demons, and they're everywhere. There are fucking billions of them. And that's the thing is you program these children. And that was let me get back on the physicist for a minute. He's 23 or 24, and his bladder and shit was shutting down, and I said, he's sitting there drinking soda. And I said, you're a fucking engineer and an astrophysicist. And I said, what is that soda doing to your anatomy? And he just said, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." And I said, that's what's causing your fucking pee to be hurting and shit. And that's the thing. He's looking at me because I'm trying to run a company to get it going to $1 million status, but they see me as not having a degree. Hey, this man's crazy. He doesn't have any money. Even though he's in shape more than anybody with money and makes more logical sense, I'm so fucking harmonic stupid that I can't pay attention. And so, since he's nothing, I'm going to dismiss this shit. Let me just throw it out. It's not in the universities. It's not in the cartoons I've watched. It's not anything at all. And that's him. That's an harmonic fucking ignorant being. And I said, astrophysicist is this. Astro means astral. Physicist is physical. Astral, physical. You have an astral body and an ether body. Ego, physical body. And the average dummy against me will tell you, no, you just have one brain. Nope, you got 4 brains, actually. So, I got to get going because somebody just texted me. I need to film some shots today, of me hitting some. My dad's 70, I think, 74. Something like that. He's in pretty good shape. But see, I've tried to get him on the fucking salts, and he's a dummy. In their world, in this harmonic world, this is him too. I've showed them this. They just fucking push it away. In their world, you go to the doctor and get it one shot or something, and it fixes everything. And I said, no, that doesn't work. Because he gets a shot in his back like a lot of the old people do. And I observe. When I take him, I look around, and everybody in that waiting room getting a shot is fucking beyond out of shape. They have no fluid in them. Eventually, I told him, and I said, you got to go to the chiropractor. I know y'all are against it, but keep going. That's one of the only practices that is left that's pretty much natural. And they're just as fucking dumb, too. And I had some charts. You can go into a chiropractor place and get some charts and learn a lot about the salts. But that's the whole thing. I said, Dad, you got to get on these and stay on. Oh, I don't need all that. He's just the old school. He comes from the days of the Navy to when in the 60s or 50s or whenever, the fucking vaxes they got left scars on them, literally that big around. So when you get that shit at 16 or 17, you'll never forget that impression. So anything that comes on TV, it's fucking real. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not real. This is. What's inside of you built this. Me and you built this. Whoa, what's inside of me and you also fucking destroyed this too. So when you can get to that fucking level, then you get on our page, right? Look at that. I mean, this is what they do, bitch. Microwave technology. Right there. You see it dripping. To anybody, look at and see when it was on. Let me tell you, give you some clairvoyant shit. I can see this when they did it. Yeah. I can see it now, and I can see it in liquid. I can go back in history, just like they tell you in their little shows and everything. Because I have the same energy that they do. It's the same Saturnian energy. The numbers that I have are, you don't know them because y'all don't study. You might, but like what I'm trying to tell you is what's going on with me is not in any of these fucking books. And it's a puzzle to put it together. Okay, and the reason I put that one caption or the picture is Steiner. You need to start with The Secret Brotherhood audiobook on YouTube. Okay, and just listen to Steiner. Cut every fucking thing else off and listen to Steiner. Listen to Steiner. Listen to Steiner, because the Jesuits they destroyed any fucking thing that was going to be good. You know, he was surrounded. He had no fucking idea what was coming. And see, what was channeling through Steiner, just like with Blavatsky and Annie Besant and all those fucking dummies, they take what was being channeled and then they evaluate it and then doctor it up and then put it in their printing presses to circulate into the masses, which would be false messages. They're going to twist it. In Nefarious, he says, look, we just took you and then recreated you in our image. Yeah. So watch The X-Files from 98. Watch it today with the captions on. Towards the middle of the movie, the old man telling him about FEMA and the secret government. Listen to that. And watch Nefarious. And I'll be back shortly. I love you.